Hello and welcome to Pub and Fig. In this video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know before you watch Secret Invasion. I will only use these projects as reference, so there will be no spoilers from the trailers or the marketing. I will also make references to these, but these are just alluded to. These aren't as spoilery as the others. And I am aware that this is a lot of content, so I will tread carefully. How I want to do this summary is to break it down into two sections, the larger portion going over everything we know about the series protagonist, Nick Fury, and the other portion talking about everything we know about the Skrulls. So without further ado, let's review. Instead of sticking to a chronological order, I will just go by a release order when it comes to what we know about Nick Fury. In Phase 1, we knew him only as the director of the Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division, or more commonly known as S.H.I.E.L.D. During those first 5 movies, he was recruiting members for the Avengers Initiative, with the goal of defending Earth from extraterrestrial and other dangerous threats.
There was an idea called the Avengers Initiative. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people, see if they could become something more. See if they could work together when we needed them to fight the battles that we never could.
This paid off when Loki brought an alien army to New York, and Fury had the Avengers to save the day. The only other important piece of information we get from Phase 1 Fury is his relationship with Iron Man, as he knew his father when he was still alive and in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D. In Phase 2, however, we witnessed the collapse of S.H.I.E.L.D. in Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Early into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s conception, Hydra had been silently growing and taking over. As a reminder, Hydra is a terrorist organization that started under the Nazis in World War II, but left because they felt the Nazis were slowing them down. And S.H.I.E.L.D.'s first seed was Hydra's head scientist, Arnim Zola. Arnim Zola is the computer guy, by the way. Fury is presumed dead after supposedly being killed by the Winter Soldier. Of course he survives, and helps Captain America and Black Widow take down the new and very powerful helicarriers and release all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s documents to the public. In the end, S.H.I.E.L.D. as we knew it is dissolved, and Nick Fury is dead in the eyes of the world. Fury's second and last appearance in Phase 2 is in Avengers: Age of Ultron, where he meets the team at Hawkeye's farm. He tries to help them come up with a plan against Ultron, but his main contribution comes in bringing an older-style helicarrier to evacuate Sokovian citizens from the rising city. Now apparently it's not the same helicarrier as in the first Avengers movie, since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. revealed that it was a new helicarrier in the works despite it looking the exact same as the old, but the show as a whole is not technically canon, so think as you will. Regardless, what this could potentially mean is Fury is kickstarting a new S.H.I.E.L.D., and this is supported by this helicarrier being operated by former S.H.I.E.L.D. personnel. However, we haven't seen anything remotely similar to S.H.I.E.L.D. since Age of Ultron. Now, the next time we see Fury is in a post-credit scene of Avengers: Infinity War, where he and Maria Hill are observing delayed intel of the battle in Wakanda before witnessing the effects of the snap. Hill is turned to dust, and Fury sends out a signal to Captain Marvel before he does as well. I didn't mention it before, but Maria Hill is probably the agent Fury trusts most, R.I.P. Coulson, and there are hints that he appreciates her more than just an agent.
Mind if I borrow Ms. Hill?
She's all yours, apparently. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Something dramatic, I hope.
In Captain Marvel, we are taken to the 1990s, where we are introduced to a young Nick Fury as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. He helps Captain Marvel remember her life as Carol Danvers while also dealing with being in the middle of the Kree-Skrull War. This is likely Earth's earliest encounter with aliens as far as recent and better recorded history is concerned. As a result, this prompts Fury to come up with a protection initiative to deal with such matters, and he uses Carol's call sign for the name. Fury's second last appearance is in Avengers: Endgame, where he is seen in the back of Iron Man's funeral. After that, he is last seen in Spider-Man: Far From Home, but only in a post-credit scene.
But Figman, Fury is throughout the movie helping Spider-Man, introducing him to Mysterio and giving him Tony Stark's glasses.
While that is sort of true, that is not the real Nick Fury. You see, that post-credit scene reveals that the Fury we saw this whole movie was the Skrull Talos, impersonating as Fury, while the real one is off in space working on something. I will get into more of the Skrull stuff in a bit, but let's talk about what Fury is working on. We know this is space since that's what it looks like outside, and in a WandaVision post-credit scene, we see a Skrull refer to him by pointing up. Is this a new S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is this more of a sword based more on the comics with a space station that would also have to be different from the sword currently in the MCU? Or is this something different altogether? As of now, we don't know. But speaking of powerful organizations, there have been a lot in play recently. We were introduced to S.W.O.R.D. in WandaVision, where they dissected and sort of revived Vision. Damage Control, all the way back from Spider-Man Homecoming, has become a powerhouse, taking Spider-Man to court, functioned as an ending antagonistic force in Ms. Marvel, and even took down She-Hulk with relative ease. The Red Room was still large when we saw it in Black Widow, but it seemed to be finally decommissioned and before the events of Infinity War. In Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Sharon Carter is revealed to be the power broker, amassing resources, connections, and even funding superhuman projects, all while hiding in Madripoor. Lastly, we have seen a lot from Val.
Actually, it's Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
I don't care, I'm calling you Val. Anyways, Val has been seen a lot through Phase 4, seemingly brewing her own plans in the background similar to Phase 1 Fury. She has John Walker as the US agent, made connections with the Black Widow Yelena, and was last seen in Black Panther Wakanda Forever dealing with schemes to acquire vibranium. She is apparently the ex-wife of Everett Ross, the CIA agent in Captain America Civil War and in both Black Panther movies. With all of these rivaling forces, what connections does Fury actually have left? Outside of these Skrulls and the potential new shield in the works, not much else. Looking at the Avengers, Black Widow and Iron Man are dead, Thor is off-world and hard to contact as per usual, despite New Asgard being located in Norway. Hulk probably retired to heal his arm, but I think he may just remain there despite being fully functional. The Captain America mantle was passed down to Falcon, so Fury may have some means of communication with him. I would say similar things for War Machine and Spider-Man, although relative to Iron Man, but it is a little shaky for Spider-Man after the whole forget Peter Parker spell in No Way Home. As for War Machine, he does still seem active compared to most other Avengers, just not as a superhero as far as we know. And Fury may still have some connections with Captain Marvel as he did before, but whether it is more than a panic button this time is unknown. This is it for the Nick Fury portion of the video, so let me know what your favorite Nick Fury moment is, whether that be from the movies or from the comics, in the comments down below. Now, Skrulls. What on earth are they? Introduced to us in Captain Marvel, they are shape-shifting aliens that can take on the appearance of anyone they have seen. The Skrulls we meet in that movie are refugees painted as terrorists in a war with the Kree, an alien race of blue people that we have seen as antagonists both in this movie and in the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
I thought Kree having sleeper cells was top secret information.
Nick.
The Skrulls have made 3 appearances since Captain Marvel, those being in Spider-Man Far From Home, WandaVision in a post-credit scene, and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania in a post-credit scene. How many post-credit scenes do I refer to in this video? The Quantumania one adds nothing since the Skrull there is just a variant of Kang, and the WandaVision one is more of a setup for the Marvels with Monica Rambeau being invited into Fury's space station. But the most insightful and intriguing is the implications of Far From Home's post-credit scene, revealing Fury was never on Earth the entire movie. The Skrull impersonating Fury is Talos, the leader of a group of Skrulls at least back in the 90s. He and other Skrulls are clearly working with Fury, but for how long is unknown. Some think this has been going on for years, using this contradiction as evidence.
Name a detail so bizarre a Skrull could never fabricate it.
A toast is cut diagonally, I can't eat it.
If this is the case, Fury could have been working with Skrulls as early as the 90s, but that only works if some of the Skrulls stayed behind instead of leaving the system like the others at the end of Captain Marvel. But I think that would have to be a little further in the timeline. Now, if Fury is allowing himself to be impersonated by Skrulls, who says he's the only one and knowingly? But I suppose that'll have to be a question to linger on before you watch Secret Invasion. If you want to see more videos just like this, make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with the Marvel mythos. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you already commented your favorite Fury moment, tell me in a different comment what you like about the Skrulls. This is Pub and Fig, sayonara.